Matthew Arnold was born December 24, 1822, in Laleham, Middlesex, England. He left Laleham at the age of 6 in 1828 when his father, Thomas Arnold, took a position as headmaster at Rugby School, and who would eventually be acknowledged as the founder of the modern public school system. In 1831, 3 years after his father became headmaster, Matthew was sent back to Laleham and enrolled in his uncle's preparatory school, where he remained most of his primary years. In 1836, he transferred to Winchester College, a public boarding school, but only stayed there a year before returning to Rugby School to finish his secondary education under the tutelage of his father. I bet that was difficult. Anyway, it was during his years at Rugby that his gift of writing poetry emerged. He won a school prize in publication for his poem Alaric at Rome. Turns out, Alaric is a name of German origin that means all-powerful ruler. Thus, the title reads, All-Powerful Ruler of Rome. Interesting. At the age of 17, he matriculated to Balliol College, a satellite university of Oxford. With the help of a scholarship, he graduated in 1844 with honors in classics. During his time at Oxford, his writing resurfaced again when he won the Newdigate Prize for his poem Cromwell in 1843. After graduating, he returned to familiar territory, Rugby School, but this time to serve as a teacher. After just a year of teaching, Arnold moved on, landing a position as a private secretary to Lord Lansdowne, a high cabinet official in 1847. During this time, he published his first book of poetry entitled The Strayed Reveller in 1849. But there was something missing in his life. He wanted to get married, but could not afford it as a private secretary, so he had to change his plans yet again. In April of 1851, he became a government school inspector. 2 months later, he married a judge's daughter, Frances Lucy Whiteman. Together, they had 4 sons and 2 daughters. Although his job was quite grueling with traveling and all, Arnold served in this position for 35 years. Now, that's dedication. As it turns out, all the traveling by train, staying at low-budget hotels, and listening to problems about the schools he inspected paid off because he received a real-life education on the state of England society up close and personal, experiences that he often highlighted in his poetry and commentary. Between 1852 and 1873, Arnold wrote a host of poetry as well as literary criticism that addressed subjects such as the dwindling of religious faith, morality, isolation, education, and social and cultural issues, all hot topics of the Victorian era. In 1857, he was elected professor of poetry at Oxford and remained there 10 years. And while he taught at Oxford, he reinvented his writing talents and blossomed as a literary critic. Some of Matthew Arnold's most notable poems include Dover Beach, Thyrses, The Scholar Gypsy, Shakespeare, and To Marguerite Continued. His notable essays include Essays on Criticism, Culture and Anarchy, God in the Bible, and The Study of Poetry. Arnold died of heart failure in 1888 at the age of 65 while running to catch a tram to see his daughter, who was visiting from the United States after marrying an American. How tragic. However, his poetry and his critical essays have certainly outlived him and do remain staples as literary canons.